Hi guys, this is Mr. Leshin. It's good to be back here again. This is JSS2 class. The last time we discussed about angle of elevation and depression, and we talked about the relationship between angle of elevation and depression. That is, angle of elevation is the angle made above the normal eye level in viewing an object above, and angle of depression is the angle made viewing an object below the normal eye level. The normal eye level is the horizontal eye level. So we talk about the relationship between them and how to solve questions on distance and the height using scale drawing. But this week we'll be looking at bearing and distance. I repeat again, bearing and distance. Bearing simply is a point, how to find a point or a location of a place in cardinal points. We have 4 cardinal points. We have the north, south, east, and west. But before we go into the details of the topic, I would like to share with you the learning objective. The learning objective, what we have set aside to achieve today, which is at the end of the lesson, students should be able to describe compass bearing and 3-figure bearing. These are the major types of bearing that we have. The compass bearing, indicating the poles and the poles between all these 4 cardinal points. We have 4 cardinal points. I said north, west, east, and west. North, south, east, and west. Although we have some cardinal points between these major poles, like between north and east, there's a northeast. Between south and east, there's a southeast, and thereabout. And we have 3-figure bearing. Number 2 says, using bearing to find the position of an object from another object. Number 3 says, using bearing and distance to find the location of a place by scale drawing. I believe we recall we discussed about scale drawing last time, and we used it in our last topic, that the scale is what? Equals to length of what? Scale drawing over length of what? Actual object. Scale drawing is a representation of an actual object given a what? By giving a what? A required scale. I would like to introduce the topic to you. Introduction. A bearing gives the direction between 2 points, one and other. Between 2 points, it gives the what? The location of this point and the location of the other point. The bearing gives what? That kind of direction in terms of what? Angles and degrees. In terms of angles and degrees. There are 2 types of bearing. We have what? The compass bearing and the 3-figure bearing. Compass bearing and 3-figure bearing. So let's go to compass bearing. There are 4 major compass bearing. The 4 major compass are what? The north, which is this. The north, follow the cursor please. The north, the south, the east, and the west. The north, the south, the east, and the west. These are called what? Cardinal points. They are called cardinal. So we have 4 cardinal points: the north, the south, the east, and the west. So this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. This falls in between what? The north and east cardinal points. It falls between the what? The north and east cardinal point. So we label it northeast. This falls between the what? The east and south cardinal point. Or we label it southeast. We don't label east-south. Because in bearings, angles are measured from what? Either north or south. In compass bearing, angles are measured from either what? North or south. You don't say east-south. It has to be the what? Either you start from the north or you start from the what? The south. That is why we have what? Northeast here. And the point between the what? The cardinal point of south and east is what? Southeast. Why the point between the what? South and west is called southwest, and this is called northwest, northwest north. So your bearing angles are measured from what? North or south. I believe you understand that. So we go to 3-figure bearing. 3-figure bearing. In modern times, we usually use 3-figure bearing to represent bearing. Yes, now this is what we use particularly in what? 3-figure bearing in bearing. This is how we measure bearing now. It is always measured from what? North in clockwise direction. You know what clockwise direction is? This is a clockwise direction. From north like this, in this direction. The direction of a what? Of a clock. If you look at the clock in your house, it's always moving in a what? A clockwise direction. The opposite of clockwise direction is what? Anti-clockwise. So, but in bearing, it starts your measurement from what? From the north, and it goes in the what? Clockwise direction. So we go to the north again, and it is denoted as e.g. 35 degrees, 005 degrees, and 200 degrees. Take note of this thing. In 3-figure bearing, it has to be 3 digits. Even if like this now, this is a 35 degrees. This is a 2 digits. But if it's in 3-figure bearing, you are using a 3-figure bearing to describe your what? Your location. You add a 0 to the front to make sure it was a 3 digits. Look at this again. This is 5 degrees. You add 2 0 to make it what? A 3 digits. Because the 3-figure bearing, it has to be in what? 3 digits. Unlike your measurement can be also what? In 3 digits originally. or like this 200 degree is what 3 digits. So let's read, when the number of digits of a bearing is less than 3, always add extra 0 before the angle to make it up to what 3 digits. That's what I just explained now. Always make sure that in 3-figure bearing, your digits are 3. If I repeat, in 3-figure bearing, your digits are what? 3. So let me explain the 3-figure bearing. Look at this. This is 65 degrees, but you can see we wrote, it is written 065 degrees. 065 degrees is what? 3 digits, and this is 300 degrees is 3 digits. Like I said in compass bearing, this falls, 65 falls what? 065 degrees shows that it falls between what? North and east. From the north pole to the east pole, you see it forms a what? A right angle triangle, which is what? 90 degrees. It forms a what? A right angle, which is what? 90 degrees. Look at the southeast also. Forms a 90 degrees. Southwest forms a 90 degrees. And northwest forms a 90 what? 90 degrees. The total what? Forms a what? 360. The total what? Angle what? Is what? 360 degrees. That is 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. 90 plus 90 gives you 180. Plus 90 gives you 270. Plus 90 gives you what? 360. So from north to east, if you have 065 degree in 3-figure bearing, you will know that it falls between what? North and east, giving you what? A northeast pole. And by this, you can place your protractor here at the poles of the north to calculate, to get a what? 65 degree measurement. You place your protractor here to measure your 65 degree measurement. Look at this, 300 degrees. You calculate. It doesn't fall here because this is 90. It doesn't fall between south and east because it's 180. It doesn't fall between south and west because it's what? 270. It is greater than 270. So it's between the range of what? 270 and 360. 300 falls between what? 270 and 360. That's why we have here what? Our degree here. So this is what? This will give us what? 30 degrees because this is 270. If you are calculating, you know, I told you earlier, I thought measurement starts from north in the clockwise direction. So this is 270 to the west. So this is what? 30 degrees because this is 300 degrees in what? In total. I believe you understand that. So we look at how we can find the bearing of a point from another point. How you can find the bearing of a point from another point. To find the bearing of a point from another point, we must take note of the word from. That's what I want to emphasize on. From. From shows that this is the starting point. It indicates the what? The starting point. Where the bearing you are calculating is being calculated from. Where your location is what is starting from. So you have to take note of the word from. In any question, look out for the word from. Where the bearing is starting from. Because it tells us what? Starting point of the bearing. I said earlier. After considering that, you draw a line to connect both points. If you are looking for, we are talking about finding the bearing of a point from another point. If you have gotten your starting point and you've gotten the location of the other point, you draw a line, measure to calculate the distance, you join them together, indicating that you are measuring this distance from this what distance. You are measuring this location from this what location. You are measuring this bearing from this what. You have to join them by what? By a line. These are the things you consider in what? In bearing. And it's measured from what? North in clockwise direction. Like I said earlier, you make sure you calculate it from the north pole, and it's always in what? Clockwise direction. Don't take your measurement in the what? Anti-clockwise direction. Note, NB, bearing and distance can be used to locate another place, which we discussed earlier. So take a look at this. Finding the bearing of a point from another. This is a diagram illustration. Look at this point. This is A from B. This is B from A. Take note. This is B from A. That is A is the what? Is the starting point. A is the what? Is the starting point. So we are trying to find the location of B starting from what? A. So look at this now. In case, let us take assumption. Assuming we are given a what? A degree of what? 180 plus, this is 63 degrees from A. The angle formed from A is what? 63 degrees. Angle B formed from A is what? 63 degrees. I said angle B, the location of B from A is what? 63 degrees. Now this is 63 degrees. It falls between what? North and east what? Pole. So you take 063, 3-figure bearing. And how to calculate is what? 063. So take it. So if you are going to measure it now, so this falls in the position where you measure it like this. Take your what? Start your measurement from what? From the north pole and in the what? Clockwise direction. And in the what? Clockwise direction. Now from north to east gives you what? 90. From north to south gives you what? 180. Now this falls between the range of what? 270. Now how do you know this is 63? How do you calculate it? That's why this comes in for alternate angles. If you have an angle like this, they are what called what? Alternate angles, as we described in the relationship between what? Angle of elevation and angle of depression. Alternate angles are always what? Equal. You can see now they are alternate to one another. They are what? Alternate to one another. So angle A here, this angle here formed here is alternate to this one. Please take note of that. The angle formed here is what? Alternate to this one. So we call them what? Alternate angles, and they are what? equal. So this angle, the bearing of what? B from A will now be what? 180 plus 63, which will give you what? 243 degrees. The bearing of what? B, that is the location of B from A on bearing is what? 243 degrees. Take note of what I said. I said from A. The bearing of B from what? A will give you what? 243 degrees. So let's take an example before close. If town B is 150 kilometers from town A, take note of the word from A. That is the starting point is what? A. If town B is 150 kilometers, now there's a distance. That is the line we told you to connect them. The distance between them is what? 150 kilometers. On a bearing of 245 degrees. Wow. On a bearing of what? 245 degrees. That falls within the range of what? South and west. Is below what? 270 and more than what? 180. On a bearing of what? 245 degrees. Locate the position of town B. Use a scale of 1 centimeter to 30 kilometers. I already told you we will be using scale drawing to what? To calculate the distance, to calculate bearing here. And you remember, recall, your scale is given at what? Length on scale drawing over what? Length on what? Actual object. I already told you scale drawing is used for what? Is a representation of an object, of an actual object on paper. It's a representation of an actual object or what? On paper or on sketch. Just sketch an actual object using what? A scale measurement. So we've given a scale of what? 1 centimeter to 30 kilometers. So the location starts from what? B. 150 kilometers from what? From B. Starting from what? Rather A. 150 kilometers from what? B. So this is the solution. First, you calculate your what? Distance. Convert your what? The distance to what? Scale. Using a scale of what? 1 to 30, which is equals to what? Length on scale drawing equals to what? Length on actual drawing. That is the what? Formula for scale. And we are given a scale of what? 1 centimeter to represent what? 30 kilometers. 1 centimeter to represent what? 30 kilometers. Which will now give us what? 1 over 30 equals to what? X over what? 150. 150 kilometers. So if you cross multiply and make X the subject of formula, your X will give you what? 5 centimeters. Take note of the word from. Taking note of the word from. That is the starting point is what? A to B is what? 245 degrees. So if we sketch the diagram, we find out that the town is what? 65 degree northeast. 65 degree northeast. And this is a compass bearing answer. In case you want to represent it in what? 3 figure to what? 065 degrees. But in this case, it's what? 65 degrees northeast. So let me give you the what? The diagram explanation of the solution. Looking at it now. The question says, it starts from what? We have what? Our X to be what? 5 centimeter. The distance in what? Scale drawing. If town B is what? 150 kilometers from A on a bearing of 245 degrees. If town B is 150 kilometers from starting point A on a bearing of what? 245. This is A. And the town B, this distance is what? 150 kilometers on a bearing of 245 degrees. On a bearing of what? 245 degrees. Look at this very well. On a bearing of what? 245 degrees. The questioner says, fine. Locate the position of what? Town B. Using the scale of what? 1 centimeter to 30 meters. We already find our scale here and we've gotten our answer to be what? 65 degrees northeast. Just to show you how we got that. So look at it here now. So if it's 245 degrees. Now take a look. I told you measurement starts from what? From the north pole and in the what? Clockwise direction. So we want to calculate 245. This is what? 90 degrees to northeast. From north to south is what? 180. But from north to west is what? 270. But our angle is below what? 270. So it falls between the range of what? 180 and what? 270. 180 and what? 270. So 180, 245 minus 180 will give you what? 65. So this is 65 degrees here. This angle here is what? 65 degrees. So now how do you calculate what? The location of what? B. How do you find the location of B? I told you earlier alternate angles. So this angle here is alternate to the what? To the angle formed here, which will now give you what? 65 degrees. So the bearing of what? B from A is what? The bearing of B from A is what? 245 degrees. While the bearing of A from B is what? 65 degrees. The bearing of A is what? 65 degrees from B. Starting from B. Always take note of the word from. So I would like to recap again. We talked about bearing using to find location of a place. We have compass bearing, whereby we describe the what? The poles, the 4 cardinal points. That is the north, south, east, and west cardinal points. And in between, we always have what? The northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. Always take note. Your bearing measurement starts from the what? From the north or the south. You don't say east, north, and you don't say east, south. It's always what? Northeast, southeast, southwest, and what? Northwest. And we also have what? 3 figure bearing, whereby you represent your what? you represent your what, your bearing what, 3 digits. If you have 2 digits, like you have 65, 70 figures below 3 digits, you add 0 to the what, to the front to make it up to what, 3 digits. So I took you through a solution, the alternate angles form when two bearings are located to each other. How to find the bearing of a point from what, from another. Take note of the what. The major thing in this is what, taking note of the what, the starting point, which is what, from. Take note of the what, the starting point, which is what, from. So we have come to the end of the class. I've sent some questions earlier on the lesson notes. You can go through this video very, very well, and you'll be able to attempt all the questions sent earlier. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And please study and practice more. Study and practice more. Go through the assignments given. Take your textbook and practice more questions. If you have any question, you can use all platforms provided. You can paste your questions there on the WhatsApp group and on the website. There's a question platform there. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next class.